demonologist, so someone that casts demons out of people. All right, and you'll be surprised that your favorite Marvel characters are actually demigods. But let's get into it, and we'll discuss it right after. Okay, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Let's get into it.
And the list goes on and on. When I travel to India, guess what I deal with? I deal with a Hindu echelon of spirits: Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and the list goes on and on, but those are the big ones. Well, when I go to Central South America, I'm rarely having Brahma, Vishnu, or Shiva manifest. We're having different spirits. If I go to Africa, we're having different spirits manifest. Go to Mexico, you're having Aztec demons manifest. If in my area in East Tennessee, we have Odin, Thor, and Loki manifesting all the time, almost every deliverance, because the people that settled our area.
Thor and Loki?
Yeah.
What do you mean? From Marvel?
Yeah, absolutely. It'll bring a whole light to Disney. I mean, if you want a demonology degree, watch Disney, because they're in it, and they're portraying the characteristics. I mean, when you do enough and identify enough deliverances, I can identify Loki like that as compared with Odin, just on how they manifest. Now, we teach our people, we don't put forth that information. We extract that information. I don't let our people just say, oh, you got this or you got that. No, that will get them off a team really quickly. We prove out what we feel God's showing us. So I don't let somebody just go, Lucifer, get up here, or Jezebel, get up here. No, demon, get up here, you identify yourself. If I think it's Lucifer, I'm going to prove that out. I'm not going to introduce that information. We're going to prove it out. So what we found, people moved to our area, settled our area from England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland. So guess what demons are in our area, in those bloodlines? The same demons our ancestors worshiped. If I go to Texas and start ministering there and have demons manifest in a room, let's say you got 200 people in a room, probably 50 of them will manifest Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent that's on the base of all the pyramids all over Mexico. Because that people group worshiped that god, little g god. If you go to, other nations, so we want to know what were the gods worshipped in that ancestry, because that'll be the demons that manifest in that people group.
Yes, guys. So it gives you a new outlook, right, on watching Marvel and Thor and the Endgame and everything else. And I have to tell you, those are my favorite movies, but the truth is the truth. When they're talking about this, they're actually talking about territorial spirits. They're talking about regional spirits. They're talking about principalities, the things that the Bible talks about. All of these things are real. As a matter of fact, the kingdom of God is a government, thereby the name of my channel, Kingdom Politico. Kingdom Politico is really about looking at religious practices, looking at governmental practices, looking at political aspects of culture and everything else, and looking at it from a kingdom perspective, a spiritual perspective. So the first thing this gentleman talked about was the Hindu gods in India. And a lot of those gods have been brought over here. How? Not just with the practice of Hinduism, but with the practice of yoga. Now, a lot of people, and I know I'm going to get a lot of pushback on this, because there are a lot of people that like to do yoga. To them, it's relaxing, and they get to meditate and close their eyes and stretch and all of these different things. But every pose that you do in yoga is a homage to a Hindu god. The sun warrior pose, the downward dog. There's an eagle pose. All of these poses are homages to them. So every time you do it, it's not like you could differentiate yourself from the poses and say, well, I'm just doing the exercise. It has nothing to do with Hindu. I'm not worshiping their gods. Well, this is the way the Hindus worship their gods, through yoga. And any yogi that has left the practice, and I'm talking masters in yoga techniques, will tell you that this is in fact the case. And some of them have seen these demigods manifest. And when you look at people like Odin and Thor, And I'm surprised he said that they were in Tennessee, but maybe he's in Tennessee because a lot of these people come from the Vikings, and some of the Vikings come from these bloodlines that have been tainted with Nephilim blood. I know all of this stuff sounds spooky, but trust me, it's real. I had to deal with this when I was 16 years old. I was thrown into spirituality. I was thrown into Christianity. I had my first boyfriend who became possessed by demonic spirits. He went to his friend's house who was practicing. His friend's grandmother was practicing Santeria, and she would do baths, she would do rituals and all this kind of stuff. She invited him in. She just, I guess, felt he was outside. His friend went inside. He was outside. She goes, I don't know who's outside, but whoever your friend is, tell him to come in here. He has a strong spirit. Okay. I don't know all what happened. He doesn't know exactly what happened. All I know is that my boyfriend, the love of my life, came back a different person and tried to kill me a couple of times. So I've experienced this. I know what I'm talking about. All right. So when you look at these things, you look at different regions that have different gods that they worship. You have the Yoruban god, Orisha in Africa. You have, let's see what else you have. You have Ashtaroth. You have them in like Greece and different things. Whatever the pagan religion is there or was at the time, you have gods that they worship, that they manifested all throughout there, and that's throughout the world. And a lot of these gods, they're just they're either Nephilim or they're demons, okay, that have been worshipped, that people worship. And they're usually the same god. They just change their name depending on the region that they go to or the territory that they go to. When I worked in the Department of Correction, well, after I worked in the Department of Correction, God told me, he said, I want you to look at the kingdom of God the way that you do in corrections. The commissioner, the hierarchy, the angels, the host of angels, the government, and that whole system. And I want you to equate it with that. So that's how I came to know who these beings are. So whenever you watch something, whenever you listen to something, make sure that you understand the genesis of it. It's not just fun and games. We think that we're entering territory, like we look at some of these movies. What was out during my time was something called E.T., extraterrestrial, you know, a little girl on a bike and she's like, E.T., go home. Well, those things are real. You know, some will argue with you and say the aliens are just disembodied spirits or they're demonic spirits from a different plane or a different dimension. I don't know. But a lot of movies mimic real life. They mimic deities, principalities, and territorial spirits. And a way that you can tell what spirit is actually over a nation or a country or a state is the sin that's most prevalent or most common in that city and state. But let me know what you think in the comments. All right. I know this is not content that I've shared before, so I definitely want your feedback on this. And let me know if you'd like to hear more of it. Okay. Either way, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.